everybody. It's Cheyenne Williams-Brown, part of the Education Department at the Appell Center for Performing Arts, more specifically in dance. And today I have the privilege of interviewing my friend, Unissa Cruse, who graduated from University of Maryland, College Park, and has performed in many different productions, including Hairspray Live, Mary Poppins, West Side Story, and other productions, along with multiple touring companies. She has also served as artistic director for multiple dance companies and has taught and choreographed all over the DMV. Unissa, thanks for being with us today.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
So what have you been up to these days?
Oh, honestly, I've been finding ways to keep busy, to keep my brain waves flowing, my creative artistry flowing, my positivity flowing. And I've actually been on a good health journey too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any new revelations with your health journey?
Well, I know it sounds cliche because everyone's like, ooh, I want to eat less gluten and I want to eat no dairy. It sounds so cliche, but it's true. So yeah. I've found I have more energy the more I eat clean, if that makes sense. Okay. The more I know all the things I'm putting in my food or smoothies or whatever, the better. And that doesn't necessarily mean I'm vegetarian or anything like that, or I don't snack. I just love to know what I eat, and it just makes me feel better. I feel more awake. I have more energy. I drink more water. That's a huge one.
Nice.
It sounds terrible, but I always drink water, but I just drink more now, and I'm just so I'm ready to go.
That's really awesome. The water thing has been really hard for me lately, just being at home. I'm usually pretty good with water because I'm teaching all day. I'm sweating. Okay, we're drinking all the water that I need to. But at home, I have such a hard time just wanting to drink water. I'm not thirsty. Haven't been working out.
I know. It's hard. I have told myself this. At least in the morning when you first wake up, a lot of times you tend to be thirsty because you haven't had anything. Right. So I try to drink a full glass at the top of the morning. Mm-hmm. And then I try after this, for example, after I've spoken for a long time, I try to guzzle a ton of water. Right. I try to guzzle it right after I eat. So that helps.
Yes, that's a good idea. I'll take that into consideration.
I agree with you. It's hard though when you're not teaching. I used to be oh my gosh, it'd be so easy for me to go through a bottle of water. And now I'm
right.
Half that.
The bottle is still sitting there all the way full. It's 10 p.m. I'm water? What is that?
What is
that? Oh my God. Well, okay, getting into the nitty gritty. When did you begin dancing?
Okay, so I began dancing when I was very little. I believe I was 5. I thought I was younger than that, but I took a look at my very first pair of ballet shoes. They look crazy because they're so old. And they were too big in my opinion for a 3-year-old. So I was I had to be 5 or 6. Yeah, so around that time I did that, and I started off with ballet. And I think when I was around 9, I got into jazz and modern. And it wasn't until I hit 11 or 12, where I got into more genres contemporary and lyrical and hip hop. I was what's the one that I do? Hip hop. I didn't really train at all. Really in musical theater. And it never was an interest of mine at all. But I got into that more so a few years ago, actually. Yeah.
Was there a dance genre growing up that you really loved? It was your thing?
Sort of. I always thought contemporary and lyrical things were just so pretty to watch. But I didn't naturally, how do I say it? I naturally moved my body that way on my own, but I didn't naturally flow into someone else's choreography that way. It was my thing in my own head, but it wasn't my thing when it came to learning from other people. But looking back, I always had a natural groove, and people always told me that. And I was just like, but I want to be pretty and graceful. I don't want to be hard hitting like hip hop. But I was always good at it. Like I always was really good at like the sharp pieces, the flowy pieces for hip hop. So I definitely will say in my brain, it was contemporary, but in actuality, my thing was always hip hop.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, whatever comes naturally, I guess, just happens. I feel like I noticed that with myself too. It was like, I wanted to do like musical theater so bad, but it was like, I kept finding myself in modern classes. Like, I'm going to be a modern dancer. That is what it is.
Yep. I mean, it's cool to dabble in it though. I don't oppose, dabbling in a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So when did you realize you wanted to dance professionally?
Wow. Okay. That's a fun question. I've always wanted to dance professionally. It was always like way back here in the back of my brain, but I just didn't think it could be a reality. It's so funny. My family, for the most part, we have people that are into the arts, and we have people that have made it, but like from back in the day. Yeah. And like now my current lifestyle, like my family is very self-sufficient, hardworking. My mom was very academic. So I was always like, it was drilled into me, like, get good grades in school, go to school. You'll get into a good college. You'll get a good job. You'll make money. That's life, And yeah. I was always told stories about how when I was little, I used to watch like law commercials and stuff like that. And I remember being younger and being like, I want to help people. I want to be a doctor. Like I just thought like, even though like in the back of my mind, I was like, every time I saw like, So You Think You Can Dance or like music videos, I was always like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I just didn't think it could be a reality. I also didn't know how to go about it being so young, or even how to tell my family, like, I don't want to be a doctor or a lawyer,
Right.
So backtracking, I knew for a really, really long time that that's what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. When I was little, like I'll say it's anywhere between like 10 and 15, somewhere between there when I was younger, I knew that I wanted to do that. Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty young though. That's awesome.
Yeah. No idea how I was going to do it. Didn't think it would happen at all. But yeah.
But look at that. It happens. Yeah. So what was it like for you when you were trying to pursue dance professionally?
Oh my goodness. Well, it was like, I don't want to say bittersweet. It was like amazing and not. So I'll say the very first time I auditioned for anything was, I thought it was Hairspray, but I thought back again and that was not the very first time. That was the second time I ever auditioned for anything professionally. The first time was when The Lion King and Aladdin came to DC.
Oh my God. I feel like I went to that audition too.
You may have. I really don't remember anyone being there. I remember it slightly, and I just remember being there, and I was like, okay, I am physically not ready for this. Because my body just doesn't move the same anymore. It was fun, and it was a good experience, but it was the first time I auditioned for anything. It was a huge cattle call, and I was like, is that what this is like? I was like, wow, people are really here on their A game. They look the part, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I need to figure it out. Then after a little, like maybe a year and a half, 2 years after that or something like that, I auditioned for Hairspray Live and got the role. And I didn't think it was necessarily easy after that. I just thought I had figured out how to like grab someone's attention, keep someone's attention, navigate. Little did I know I had so many more like business things to learn about the industry, even down to the basics that I didn't even have yet at that time. I just had the talent. And so after that, like I had, people contacting me here and there, telling me I should go to more auditions, I should look for an agent, I should consider moving, blah, 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 blah. And it was a lot. and I had so many commitments here. So I will say after Hairspray, it was really difficult for me to transition because I had to leave so many things behind. I had to get into the regular spell of like auditioning regularly. I had to like do my research and like reach out to people. And like, so I'll definitely say it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for sure. And even till this day, I'm like constantly researching, constantly learning, constantly reaching out to people. It's not an easy career field by any means. But once you've gotten in the swing of things and once you have set your mind to what you want, or to think constantly about what you want and what you don't want to give up on, it becomes like second nature, if that makes sense. I wake up and I'm like, okay, auditions, let's go. Like, you know, yeah.
That's pretty amazing that Hairspray was your second audition and that you nailed it. That's awesome.
I think about that all the time and I'm like, how? And it's that's what I mean when I say it was amazing, and not because I hadn't even set foot really into this world yet. I'd constantly been like, I'm going to move, I'm going to take classes, I'm going to learn from this person, I'm going to get an agent. And then I got injured, and then I was told I wouldn't be able to do that anymore. So I was like, oh, well, grad school, let's do that.
Right.
Luckily, Hairspray was literally around the corner. Someone told me to go. I was like, all right, whatever, I'll go for fun. I've been sad since I haven't been able to dance. I hadn't danced really in like 4 months before that.
Wow.
And it's amazing that something so huge is what made me go, just kidding. This is what I'm going to do. I don't care what the doctor said. And after that, like I said, it was really hard because I didn't book my next job timeline wise for about a year maybe. Oh wow. Yeah, about another year later. And it was like it was a theater gig. And so yeah, I didn't book it again till later. And then after that, getting in the swing of regularly auditioning and how like strenuous sometimes the process is, or how long, waiting is sometimes, or just getting in the swing of like what it's like to audition specifically in the theater world. It kind of was like, oh my goodness. Okay, it's definitely not going to be as, I don't want to say easy, but it's not everything's going to come like how Hairspray came. Right. Not everything's going to be, cut and dry. Not everything is going to be based on solely your talent. It could be practical things like your haircut or what you wore to the audition, or maybe they just didn't even see you, because you didn't stand out in some way. There's just so many more aspects, and I had to learn those aspects after having already been in that world. It's like I skipped steps and then had to go back and like take those steps. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I got you.
So that's the like not awesome part, but like I'm glad I learned for sure.
Wow. So I'm just curious, where were you auditioning? Because I know what my audition life was like. I want to know about yours.
Okay. I was mostly auditioning when it came to musical theater, or like, what do they call? Not concert dance, like cruise ships and things like that. I was mostly auditioning in New York City. I was in New York a lot. Like I found myself in New York like every week. So I would just stay there, and I would just, whenever I saw an audition, I was like, okay, I'm going to go. Okay, I'm going to go. Even if I'm not right for the role, even if I'm not going to be seen, even though I'm not equity, I'm just going to go. Yeah. One, it's like taking free class. That's a good way to look at it, versus being like, oh, I did an audition and they didn't see me, or I did an audition and I got cut. But you learned a combo for like maybe a Broadway production that's not going to change.
Right.
It's good to have that in your back pocket. So I started in New York, and then when I realized that I was more into theater, I can't remember what made me go. I kind of like, I do remember. I'm sorry. When I got my DC job, that was not too long after. Hold on, I'm messing up my timeline. Sorry. Hairspray was 2016 in December. And then a year later in December, I booked an understudy role for a theater in DC. Oh. And it was after that I started auditioning in New York. That's what it was. I like saw that this new play had come to DC, and I was like, okay, bet, I want to do it. How do I get in? And I was like, not taking no for an answer. I was not having anyone ignore me. I was like, I want to audition for this role. It'd be great. Got the understudy role. And it was after that I started auditioning regularly. And I knew at that time that I liked theater a lot. At first it was specifically musical theater, but I was like, I'm not a singer, like a big singer, you know, I didn't train vocally. So I was like, okay, gotta get a vocal coach. And so from then I was like with my vocal coach, and I was in New York with my vocal coach and in New York, blah, 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 blah. And then from then on, like I just was regularly auditioning for things. I didn't book my next job. Let's see, we're in like the summer of 2018. No, I didn't book my next job until it was right after that gig was over, that theater gig. I went on a vacation and then like I booked something in LA. So it was like all these random things that I was getting because I was like doing what I'm supposed to do. Like I was submitting, or I was like researching or reaching out, and I was booking things. It was like they were like gapped, but like sort of at a good pace back to back, I'll say. And that was in LA, actually. And so for the most part, I've been in New York, but I've gone into LA and I've done some auditions in LA as well. And also the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. And I want to say Philadelphia. Nope, that was a class.
Yeah. So what is the auditions like in New York compared to LA?
Oh boy. New York is very, very theater based. For the most part, you're going to get musical theater or you're going to get straight plays, because I mean, that's the hub of Broadway, you know, or off Broadway. The only other things I'll say you'll get a lot of in New York. Well, you get some commercial work. A lot of TV shows shoot in New York City. And there are a lot of agents and like talent scouts and things like that. But for the most part, you will get like a lot of things for the stage. And like even concert dance is really popular in New York for like different modern or contemporary companies. LA is mostly, in my opinion, commercial based. Do they have theater in different areas? Yes. And they have great theater venues. I've seen some of their shows in LA, in a bunch of different cities in LA, but they're mostly commercial based. So like the Gap Kids commercial that you see, and there's people that are like, you know, dancing, that most likely was shot in LA. Sometimes they're shot in New York again, but like for the most part, you have like the really big TV shows that shoot in LA, whether it's for dancers or actors. And it's I'll say it's mostly on camera. I'll say that. On camera versus stage in New York.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
So can you describe the moment to me where you felt like you made it?
Hairspray. Oh my goodness. How do I sum that up quickly? So it was a 14-hour long audition. First of all, it was my second audition. And I was like, is this what it's like? It's going to take 14 hours every time. But I had fun the whole time. And regardless of me actually being able to do the production, just being able to make it past or make it to the semifinals felt good.
Yeah.
Because that means that someone was watching me, or I caught someone's eye, someone took some sort of interest in me. So at that moment, before even winning, I felt like I was like, oh, that's all I need. Once I actually saw myself on television with the news crew at my house saying that I had got this role, I still think about it sometimes, and I'm like, that did not happen. That did not, you know. And like, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but I was up watching TV. I was like, there's no way. I was on the phone. I was like, they're not going to be at my house. That's not going to happen. Like, that's too surreal. And when I saw first of all, for anyone that knows me, I drive a Cadillac. If you have known me since high school, I have always had this champagne Cadillac. Anyone knows, okay, Unissa's in the building if you see this champagne Cadillac. And so in the video of them, you know, being all secretive, like, oh, we're getting close to the winner's house, I saw my car. And I was like fell down the steps, couldn't even get to the front door, like hung up on my friend. I remember I was just like, what? Like I was like, I couldn't even speak. I like was trying to be professional on camera. It was 5 a.m. Also, by the way, I was like in PJs. I was like, I'm not getting all cute for this. I was like, there's no way this is going to happen. And I was just like, in that moment, I was like, I don't know. It's like I got my hope back, because I had no hope before that for my career at all. I was in a really not the best place, I'll be honest. In that moment, I felt like I made it. And even though like that has been the climax of my career, based on the fact that it's a classic, it was on television, it was a SAG production.
Yeah.
It was there were a lot of celebrity, you know, like I was in LA. I was like living the life, you know what I mean? And had no idea what I was doing yet. That's why in my mind I'm like, that's when I was like, that was like wake up, if that makes sense. Yeah. Have I booked something of that tenure since then? No. But like I said, I like got to the top and then like kind of fell. It's like I like fell off the cliff a little bit, caught myself. And like now I'm working my way back up to something of that tenure, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even though I haven't, I still feel like I made it. I just took it's like I took a break, but like that break doesn't consist of me like chilling. It consists of me like learning. That's like you just take a test and you like guess on all the answers. You're like, oh, I aced it. Didn't study, didn't know anything. I just got lucky because I was smart, or, you know, I approached it a certain way. And now I'm like, okay, let me actually study this organic chemistry so I can like keep getting those high A's, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I remember being at that audition with you, and I remember thinking, I was like, Unissa's gonna get this. And like I was like, she's gonna get this.
That's so funny. You're not the only one that has said that to me. Like,
I knew it.
That's so funny. Sidebar. I know I don't want to spend every waking moment on this, but sidebar. There were some people that knew I was going. I didn't post about it, but like I was on a dance company at the time, and like I was telling them, I was like, okay, here's the thing. I was like, I think I had to miss something. I can't remember exactly what it was. No. I know what it was. I told a select couple of friends. Mm-hmm. And once it got posted on the news, I didn't tell like a lot of people. I think maybe I told less than 5. And once I didn't think to myself like, oh, they're going to post this on the news and people are going to see I'm in the top 3. Like I didn't think like that. It wasn't until all of a sudden I got all these notifications like, oh my gosh, you went to an audition, you made it to the top 3. Oh my gosh, you know, and like I was just like, okay, guys, there's 2 other people. Like there's no. They're like, no, you got this. We know. And I was like, yes. Okay. And I will say I'm a very modest person. I'm very hard on myself. But in that moment, I was like, but y'all weren't there. I was like, yes, I might have the talent, or I might have done really well, but you have someone that like has a great story. You have they're talented too. You have someone that's from a different background. There's different ages. You know what I mean? So I was just like, y'all, this could be like a twist. Like y'all might think I'm gonna get this job, but I might not, you know? So you're not the only one. There's some people that literally told me, they were like, well, as soon as you told me you were auditioning, I was like, oh, she's got this. And I was like, what? I will say that morning, my foot was giving me like some issues, but it's almost like a miracle. That entire audition, I didn't feel any pain that I had felt prior. I had a rib injury. No pain that whole day. After having not danced for 4 months, and then all of a sudden I do the same dance over and over and over again for 14 hours. Yeah. I didn't and I was like warm. I was stretched. I was happy. I wasn't even nervous. And I am always nervous. Always. It doesn't matter how many auditions or how many slates I've done. I'm always like, okay, what's my name? You know, always. You'll never see it, but inside I'm like, so, yeah, it's fun. It's really funny that you say that, because a couple of other friends that I had at that audition said the same thing. And I was like, I just didn't believe it. And also I went for fun. I wasn't even really trying to book it. I was like, okay, this will be fun to get back into dance. I'm sad every day because I can't dance, so I'll just do it. Like that's the mentality I had that day.
Oh my God. Totally. It was fate. It was just fate. And I guess I just had the intuition. I was like, Unissa's dancing in the group ahead of me. I watched you. I was like, yeah, she's gonna get this.
Oh, you watched me? I didn't know that.
I think you were in the group ahead of me.
Because I remember watching you, but I couldn't remember. Maybe you're right. Because I remember as we went, whoever stayed, we stayed and watched the rest of the groups. Because I remember seeing you as well. And I was like, oh, that's Cheyenne. I was excited. Because also I hadn't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I had seen you since Mercy, right? Because I don't think I had been back yet.
Probably not. I don't know. I don't even know. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me that you said that. I appreciate that.
Of course. Of course. Well, what advice do you have for dancers who are trying to make it professionally?
Don't wait until the last minute. If you know that you want to pursue something, especially if you're like me and you have a family that's like, you know, I don't know, this is weird, you know?
Yeah.
Prove to them and yourself, because that's who matters most in this situation, that this is what you want, and prove to them that you can handle it. So, for example, a lot of people just see like the fame and the glory behind it. They don't see those 6 a.m. call times. You know what I mean? They don't see like the sweat and like the time that goes into like auditions, or they don't see like the quick turnaround. I've seen people book some, like, example, people thought I was in LA for Hairspray for like months. I was there for 11 days.
Really?
I had 1 day off. We had 3 or 4 dress rehearsals before the actual airing. So I had to learn the whole show, not just like on a stage, like how musicals usually are. Had to learn the whole Universal set, how to maneuver through like backstage and like across wherever like I had to learn everything and not get in anyone's way in 3 days.
Oh my gosh.
If that makes sense. Because I got added late to the game. They had been rehearsing since October. I got there, I think it was right after Black Friday. So I had 11, 12 days to like learn. Remind you, I had never been in a professional setting. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't like, ditzy, but like, I was like, okay, cameraman's there. Can't run into the cameraman. Okay, got to jump over. Like, there's a scene. I may send this to you at some point, Cheyenne. Got to remind me. There's a scene where literally my travel, and you see it from above, my travel is from here. It's in a park. It's like not a parking lot. It's on the street.
Yeah. I
had to travel like this all the way. And I'm talking, it was like far. And I was like, I was like, oh, I can't run into the cameraman. You have to learn those kinds of things. So I'm saying all this to say, do your research. Do your research. If that means, you know, you really like musical theater and you love all the movie musicals, watch them, not just for the entertainment of it. Watch them and like learn as much terminology as you can. Learn who all the people are. The executive producer, the choreographer, the assistant, the associate. Like, learn everything you possibly can. Understand the blocking. Understand what the gaffers do. All that. Learn and understand everything, because it's really important for you to be how do I say it? It's really important to like look like you know what you're doing, even if you're clueless. That phrase, fake it till you make it, that was me. But no one on set can say. I think one time, I think I got in someone's way once, but I scooted over as soon as I realized. You know what I mean? And that happens. Like, you bump into people, things happen. But know as much as you can, as much as possible, and do as much research as possible. And if it's something you really want to do, don't wait until it's time for you to be in that setting, for you to start this journey. For example, if someone's in high school, they're a senior, and they know they want to dance professionally, they should have been on casting sites yesterday.
Right.
You know, researching these things yesterday. They should be seeing, if you've never seen a Broadway show, but you want to be on Broadway, that's a problem. I know it's costly, but instead of, you know, taking your allowance or your babysitting money or your whatever money you make and being like, I'm going to go shopping, save up for that bus ride up to New York City and that ticket for a show. Also, look for lotteries. You can like get into a lottery and get picked to see a show. I have a friend that gets picked all the time, and I'm like, all right, this is gotta be a scam. Yes. I was literally leaving class from Broadway Dance Center, and I'm walking, and I was like, is that? I was like, hey, where are you going? She said, I'm going to see a show. My friend picked did something with the lottery and he got pulled out for a raffle and had an extra ticket and I'm going. I was like, what? It was, I can't even remember what show it was. Maybe it was Kinky Boots or something. But it was, I feel like it might have been Kinky Boots because I think Kinky Boots was up around that time or it was something. And I was just like, okay, well, I guess that's a way to do it instead of spending $250 per ticket,
right.
You know? Or if you know you want to dance with an artist, research that artist. Mm-hmm. You should have seen just about all their stuff, whether it's, you know, they're a commercial that they're in or MTV awards that they were in, hip hop awards they were in, whatever. You should also know who their choreographer is, who their management is, how they've ebbed and flowed throughout their career, if that makes sense. Like, how did they look when they started? How have they advanced as far as like outfits that their dancers wear, the types of dancers that they have, the types of dancing that they do. Everyone thinks dance is just one category. There's so much more to dance than dancing. And the last thing I'll say is be nice. Be a nice, good, kind human to everyone. Just because you have someone on set that is like only in charge of wardrobe, that does not mean they're not important. They're not as important as the choreographer,
right?
You know, or just because you have someone on set that is literally in charge of like picking up the cords behind the cameraman and holding them, you don't know if they're like married to the producer.
Right. That's true.
You know what I mean? You never know. And I think that's a huge one for people because, you know, sometimes we have bad days, or sometimes we're in our head about something, or sometimes something happens that rubs us the wrong way. It's okay to be upset, but channel it in a different way. And if on lunch break you need to go by yourself because someone is really working your last nerves, go sit outside somewhere and eat your sandwich, and then come back and be like, let's go.
Right. Ready to go.
Now, I'm not saying be fake. But be pleasant. Mm-hmm. I'm always the person that's like the neutral one. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, I know you, Nissa. You never really know like who I'm necessarily hanging with. And to be honest with you, when people ask me like about rehearsal, how was everyone? Were they nice? Blah, 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 blah. My first thing is, this is a job. That's the last thing I'll say is that you have to keep in mind. This is a job. Yes, it's a fun job, but this is a job. I was like, I'm here to make connections, not friends. And literally someone was like, oh my gosh, what do you mean you don't want to make friends? I didn't say I don't want to make friends. I'm here first to make connections and network, do my job, not here to like be like, ooh, I'm gonna add you on Instagram. Ooh, let's go session in the parking lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not what I'm there for. Do I usually come out of things, you know, making new friends? Yeah, because I try to be nice to everyone and, you know, warm and, you know, I'm naturally a silly person. And I'm pretty personable in my opinion. But that's not why I'm there first. I have to remember that I'm there because someone saw something in me. I need to maintain my professionalism and I need to get the job done. True. So that's my top, sorry, I was rambling. Top 3 things. 1, remember that this is a business. This is a job. 2, make sure you do all the research possible. The minute, even if you book the job, you should still be doing research. Like, ooh, they got a new choreographer. Okay, let's see what they've worked on before. Ooh, let's figure out what their pet peeves are. You can even reach out to them. Sometimes they won't get back to you. So do a follow-up. You can get back to them. And 3, be kind. So important to be kind to everyone. Always.
Mm-hmm. Really great advice, Unissa.
Yeah, of course. I hope I nailed it.
You nailed it.
Okay. Yay.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for your time today. This was really fun talking to you about your career.
Of course.
And, you know, I support you and I'm excited for whatever else comes next, whether that be grad school too, because, you know, we gotta. At this
point, I'm like, look, I can't dance, can't go anywhere. So,
right. Oh my God. Okay.
That's okay.
But yes, thank you so much. And, you know, hit me up, whatever.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, Cheyenne. It's good to see you. You look good.
Thanks, girl.
You're welcome. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.